Hey, Legacy. I'm excited about our corporate days of fasting. As you heard Caleb talk about it from the stage this last Sunday, we're going to be having them the first Thursday of every month, and the topics will rotate as we see the need for it and just the life of our church, our families, and our city. Listen, I know if you put fasting inside of your search engine, you're going to get all kinds of articles on how to cure your gut and how to get your six-pack back. I'm not against that. I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. That's not the direction we're going right now. We're not all trying to heal our guts as a church. As a church, we are going to use these corporate days of fasting to basically keep in step together as we pray together about something specific. And as we go through this campaign right now on Reclaiming Families, that's going to be where we fast. If fasting is new to you, well, let's just say spiritual disciplines are new to you, it's good to know why we do something like this. The Bible talks often about fasting, I think over 80 times, actually more than baptism. And the New Testament assumes that we are fasting. The New Testament addresses us and speaks to us as if we are a people that fast. It's not really something we do, though, as individuals and as a church. So a spiritual discipline, which fasting is a moment or a rhythm or a routine that we go through that nurtures the affections that we have for Jesus. It could be singing, reading, meditating, memorizing the scriptures, lamenting, and we've looked at that in the past. But fasting is also one of these things that creates a deeper affection for God in our hearts. And it does three big things that I could think of off the top of my head. One is it reminds us of what hunger feels like. If you're listening to this from your phone or from a laptop, there's a likelihood that you really never have to experience physical hunger. If you're hungry, you just go get something or you Grubhub it to your door, right? In the third world and in the ancient world, they were accustomed to hunger. So when Jesus says you don't live on bread alone, but you are also feasting and depending on and getting sustenance from God, that's something that might make more sense to them than it does to us today. So what fasting does is it creates this hunger, this vacuum in our flesh where we kind of feel like this is what hunger feels like. And then it allows us to evaluate whether we have that kind of hunger for the things of God. Another thing that fasting does is it just creates margin in our schedule, right? Because we are usually eating. I mean, if you add up all the time you eat, I don't know what it is for you. I eat like someone's about to steal the food from me. So I could probably put it all in about 30 minutes. But that's 30 minutes that we are stepping off the track from a normal rhythm as it's disrupted by fasting. We could find a place we could pray. So it kind of builds it into our calendar. Another thing that it does is it teaches us to tell our flesh no, which we're not very good at. That's probably related to the first point, but we're not very good at telling our body's hungers no. So it does a lot of things, but you're also going to see in the Bible where nations are fasting together, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to enjoy this corporate opportunity to fast as a church. Listen, if you've got medications or some sort of a condition that requires you take in food, there are things you can fast instead of food. Just pick something that you depend on every day. Pick something that is it's burned into your routine. It's, as they say, baked into the cake of your day. Something that when it's pulled out, you're going to notice it. So it might be media. It might be email. For some of you, it might be your phone. It might be coffee. For me, it's coffee. Man, I'd give up food before I gave up coffee. So I know what it's like to want things even more than food. And then so if food is something you have to take in, pick something else. But commit the margin in your day on Thursday to join us as a church and fast. Now, what we're fasting for specifically this time is part and parcel with this campaign we're going through on how to reclaim our families. So in the mornings, we're going over Lamentation 3:22 through 3:24. So from the morning till around the middle of the day, I want you to really focus on how good God has been to you, how thoughtful he has been for you, how kind. Are you able to write them down? How big of a list is that? Can you thank God for that? I want you to spend time doing that in the morning. And then in the afternoon and the evening, just as Caleb said, we're going to focus on mission in our families. And he put Mark 8:34 as a passage for us. So what is it that your family is about? What's the business you guys are about? And if you're not a family, and the fact that you have a spouse and kids, if you're single, what is your individual life mission? What is your purpose here? What values do you have that might mark you differently than the family next to you, right? Good things that are just different from their good things. What are your hopes for? What's the vision you have in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? You can find blogs on our website to help you through those questions. But that's what we're going to want you to focus on in the last half of Thursday. And then, like I said, next month, which will be June, we're going to have a very different topic that we're going to go through. But just invite you to be a part of this moment with us as a church. If you have any questions on fasting, you can email us at info@legacyknoxville.com. If you want to learn more about fasting, we'll have a class coming up very soon before June starts on spiritual disciplines. And there are several books we can refer to you if you want to learn more about it and read more about it. But thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us in this day of fasting. I will see you Sunday.